Hello guys, Turbocharged 51 over here. I hope you're having a splendid day wherever you are in the world. Guys, welcome back to the Sunday evening live streams. Welcome back to AER League Racing. And obviously you guys know we've got two groups that race on Sunday evenings. I'm in group 2. So group 1, I'm the commentator for. So we are ready for commentating tonight. And guys, so far as I know, with the recent patch update to the F1 game, the game is not supposed to crash when you stream on PlayStation because it was a PlayStation only problem. So let's hope for the best. But with tonight, I know it's going to be a bit tedious, but if the game does crash, I'll just restart the stream a few times. Well, hopefully it doesn't happen, but if it happens once or twice, I'll just restart the stream, whether it's with my race or while commentating. But hopefully luck is on our side and the patch from EA and Codemasters have actually worked. So yeah guys, we are here for it. Let me just double check. Sorry guys, I still need to get used to all the names of the different the races and the different divisions on this. So we are currently AER Sunday podium. So excuse me quickly. Sorry about that. But an air bubble there. So I am an AER Elite. That's the second group that drives on Sunday nights. This is AER Sunday Podium, if I'm not mistaken, or AER Apex, one of the two. I'm not completely sure. There's so many stuff and names that changed recently. But in any cases, we are here for the live stream. We are here for the race. And thanks for all the views so far, guys. Guys, you guys know what's the funny thing? I haven't even started my 250 subscribers. I haven't even done my 250 subscriber special yet, and we're almost at 300 subscribers. The support on the channel recently has been insane. So thank you guys so much. Quickly running through the comments before things get a bit insane. Gun Carter has a fat head. I'm not going to ask. That's just safer. So details, yeah, will be the tires, telemetry. For qualifying, I'll put that on. Actually, I'll not, because that's just a pain in the ass. Do. Okie dokie, let's see who's going for their first outlaps. Elliot, no, their two horses are actually the first ones on track. So Brad and Pro Adzi are the first ones on track. So let's stick with these guys so far. Why is it on that camera? No. There we go. Fix the camera. So yeah, quickly, hey, looking forward to this. Awesome, guys. Let me just quickly see. Hey, Yonko, you're actually in the stream, buddy. I'm commentating first. Jamie, hello, mate. Hope you're well. This is a podium tier. Next season will be called Apex, so better skill level. Okay. I'm with. Sorry, Jamie. There's so much stuff that happened recently, and also with some of the group name changes, I haven't been able to keep track with everything. But guys, we are here. Let's get commentating underway, as I can maybe scout a few of these guys for my race later, because the Suzuka is one of my weakest tracks. And to all the Suzuka lovers out there, I'm sorry to say, this is just my personal opinion. If you love this track, it's all nice and dandy, but I hate Suzuka. Not to watch racing on, but to drive it. I just don't like this track. Elite is still the same. Yeah, that's something that I actually realized. Thanks, Jamie. But yeah, guys, keep the comments active. Let's have some fun, and let's see what Pro Adzi can do for his first lap here around the Suzuka International Circuit in Japan. So here we go. DRS open, flying into T1. Let's see this double left-handed. It's basically a hairpin, but the two corners are not at the same angle, so you can't call it a hairpin. Yeah, it touches the grass a little bit there on the outside of the track. And he loses the rear end for his first run. The curbs here during in that middle sector. Where did Brad is also spun? So both Haas cars spun in exactly the same position. So next on track is Elliot. Let's see what Elliot can do. As we are on 10 viewers and 10 comments, guys, everything is looking all nice and dandy. And Elliot currently is looking not too bad. He's obviously got to set a purple first sector because he will be the first driver to go through the first sector. In actual time, he actually slowed down going off track there, so his lap has not been invalidated. So let's still see what Elliot can do into this very famous hairpin here at Suzuka as he just crossed underneath the bridge. Guys, this is the only figure of 8 track on the calendar, so it's actually it is a special track, and I know this is a very big fan favorite track, but for me personally, I don't like Suzuka. I don't like it. Elliot takes a big chunk of grass there as he heads into Spoon Curve. But coming out of Spoon Curve, he's actually got front wing damage. I don't know how he occurred that, so I think he's backed off. Now let's see behind him. It's one of the Alfa Romeos. It's TJ Barnes who's getting out of the way. The second Alfa Romeo is VIP GT, a gamer. He's also on an outlap. There's a lot of guys here. There's one of the Ferraris coming through. Is it Evil Zook? Yes, it is. He's taking a nice little tow up the hill, heading towards the famous 130R, where Fernando Alonso made an outside move around Michael Schumacher in 2005. As Elliot sets the provisional pole lap, guys, but it's clearly backed off because a 135 is not a very good time here. Let's see what Evil Zook in the Ferrari can do with that special Monza livery. Opens up DRS. He comes across the line to do a 1 minute 30.7. Not a bad provisional lap, but he immediately gets shuffled down by Dual Shock Hero, who goes a half a second faster with a 1 minute 30.280. That's a very good banker lap from Dual Shock Hero. Black Cat is currently in P3 for Williams. He just gets shuffled out to P4 by Lowy in the Alpha Tauri with a 131.1. So the times are really coming in, guys, and there's one of the Mercedes is coming towards the line now. Is it Jimmick? Yes, it is. But he's only starting his lap, so let's go on board with the Mercedes driver, and hopefully there's no mistake on this lap. Heading into the first two corners. Guys, it's a very tricky way to go into the first two corners. You really have to be very careful on your brake and throttle application. Now heading into this S section, which I absolutely hate, because you touch a curb, you're round. If you touch a curb a little bit too aggressively, but just a tad bit of over nipping the curb and you're round. Through this final left, and it's sweeping uphill towards this very little technical middle sector. It's a sharp kink to the right. You just down gear once, bump over the curb, and now you head in towards this very tight right hand as we go underneath the bridge where the track crosses itself into the left-hander, and immediately hard on the brakes for the left-handed hairpin. Sorry, right-hander for the left-handed hairpin. Up short shift on the way out of the corner to minimize the wheel spin. I actually use fourth gear coming out of there, and through this little sweeping right part of the track, I tend to keep to the inside, but you need to choose shortest line or more speed. He's a little bit wide heading into Spoon Curve, but on the exit he short shifts up to fifth gear, and he gets a good exit coming out of Spoon Curve. Up the hill towards 130R we go on board with the Mercedes of Jimmick 1984. Heading in towards 130R, it's a flat out corner for many years now in F1 cars. He actually takes a very medium line, not going towards the inside or the outside, really sticking it to the middle of the track. Third gear for the final chicane as we now barrel downhill past the Ferris wheel and towards the line. He does a 1 minute 31.6 there that gets Jimmick all the way up into P7. as your current top 5 is DualShock Hero for Red Bull, as he's coming into the pit lane on a 1 minute 30.2280. Then you've got Evil Zook in the Ferrari in P2, with FRL Viper GTA Gamer in P3 for Alfa Romeo. Lowy is still in P4 for AlphaTauri, with RacerZ in P5 for Haas on a 131.166. Sorry, there's only 2 1,000ths of a second separating RacerZ and Lowy. As for those of you guys that don't know what 2 2,000ths of a second is, it's 0.00 and then the final digit. So in this case, it's 0.002. That is less than a fart. So let's actually see here. I think one of the McLarens has gone round. Tangerine Hopper. Mr. Tangerine Chicken, as I like to call him. Gymkhana, let's see what he can do, but he's on an out lap if I'm not mistaken, or is he actually on a lap? He goes purple first sector, so I think this is a flying lap. So let's stay on board with the McLaren driver as we head in towards this next sector into the hairpin. He's right behind one of the Aston Martins at this stage. Gets a very good exit actually. He actually stayed in second gear, and there wasn't much wheel spin from Gymkhana in the McLaren. So not a bad lap at all. Well, not a bad sector 2 at all from Gymkhana. Let's see what he can do through the spoon curve. He actually takes a very good line out there. I would have taken a little bit more tire on the outside curb, but that is Gymkhana's driving style. I think he can do it. He can about half a tenth through there. Heading up the hill towards 130R, he goes purple middle sector. This might be the new provisional pole lap as he takes the normal line through 130R into the final chicane, very hard braking zone. Uses second gear to get the car turned in. He stays in second gear actually coming out of the corner. I think he might be running with medium traction control for this race because the car's wheel spin is very minimal. But he goes P4 with a 131.0. So he is still about 8 tenths behind, just under 8 tenths behind DualShock Hero, who is currently on pole position. As one of the Aston Martins is currently starting a lap, it must be Zach Zeek. Yes, it is Zach Zeek and not Joe Joey 1997. So here we go into this next part. Very, very aggressive on the curbs here from Zach Zeek as he is really throwing this Aston Martin through this S section. Here we go up the hill. It's guys, if you really have the cojones to go flat out through there and keep the car under control, you can. But the rear end is so light heading up the hill there. It's very easy to lose the rear end. With the number 15 on this Aston Martin flashing by us as we go underneath the bridge into the hairpin. Let's see what he can do here. Zach Zeek has got a beautiful line through the hairpin. He clips the apex beautifully. Stay away from that outside curb on the exit of the hairpin because it just tends to just encourage wheel spin as soon as you put your foot down. Through this next section heading into spoon curve. Not really hard on the brakes. It's more of a lift than a brake. It's slightly on the brakes. Touch the outside curb, which Zach Zeek does not manage, and touch the second part of the outside curb and run the car down the hill and back up the hill towards 130R. Zach Zeek opts for the outside line, for the outside of the track, heading towards the 130R, through the flat out 130R. He takes the normal line and now towards the hard braking zone of the final chicane. Into the right, now to the left with a very interesting helmet, but he puts the power down, not to mention too much wheel spin coming out of the corner, and towards the line he hugs the inside, the esports line, and Zach Zeek goes to provisional pole position with a 1 minute 30.097. Beautiful lap there, as we've actually lost a DualShock Hero, guys, and it seems like he has spun out. Let's see if we can get one of the Alfa Romeos. Oh yeah, he's lost it going underneath the tunnel. That outside curb can be a bit of a son of a gun. I figured that out in my practice for this week. Not that I had much practice with my past few weeks. Who actually here is on a lap? Gymkhana's in the pits. Lowy, he is currently on a lap here in the AlphaTauri. Can he go any better than P6? As one of the Alfa Romeos takes a massive chunk of grass there, heading into spoon curb. That is not something that I would recommend, especially if you run without traction control, because the grass is just... It's instant spin, basically instant slip on your tires. As these guys are really there, I've seen a few guys now actually really going onto the grass as Lowy sets the purple middle sector. So this can be a very good lap here from the AlphaTauri driver. Into the final chicane we go, now going down the hill towards the towards the finishing line. Why did I want to say checkered flag? I'm stupid. But Lowy goes P5 and into the 1 minute 30s with a 1 minute 30.9 on the dot. So that's P5. Provisional P5 for the AlphaTauri driver. I think Gymkhana's going to come out pretty soon. It's also going good so far for Black Cat Racer, guys, as he is currently in P8 for Williams. Joey is in P9 for Aston Martin. So let's quickly run through the constructors for the top 10. It's Aston Martin from Red Bull, which is currently out of the session. from Ferrari, from Alfa Romeo, from Alfa Tauri, from McLaren, from Haas, from Williams, from Aston Martin, and then the second Ferrari of Mr. Insomniac is in P10. So we've got almost all 10 different constructors in the top 10. As let's see what Mr. Insomniac can do. He, I think this might have been his out lap, as he is now starting his lap. So let's go on board with the Ferrari driver with this very interesting helmet. Not a helmet that I would really, that I like personally, but you do you, boo, you do you. So let's see here through this next section of the track. It's a, guys, this S section, you're either pinpoint perfect or you're running wide through with all the lines, or you're just going stupidly slow, or fourth option, you're spinning. So this is a track that I don't think I'm good at this track because that I don't have any confidence around this track to really push. But we'll see what happens in my race later on. We are not busy with that now. We are busy with the final, just over 5.5 minutes of qualifying here for the first race on Sunday evenings. Here we go. Through the hairpin, it's a very good exit here from a Mr. Insomniac in the second Ferrari, as FRL Viper GTA Gamer goes P2 and dethrones DualShock Hero from the front row of the start of this Japanese Grand Prix. So it's Aston Martin and Alfa Romeo on the front of the grid so far. But let's see if Mr. Insomniac can beat his teammate here tonight in qualifying, as his teammate is currently in P4 on a 1:30.7, Mr. Evil Zook. Let's see, does he hug the inside? He actually does not. It does Mr. Insomniac. He sticks to the normal line, hard on the brakes for the final chicane before we head downhill towards the finishing line. Will he hug the inside or will he stay to the outside? He sticks to the outside, opens up DRS and comes across the line to go P5 behind his teammate, about half a tenth. 0.50 is what you call half a tenth behind his teammate, Evil Zook. Very good lap from Mr. Insomniac, and I think he has just enough time to get back into the pit lane, strap on a fresh set of socks and go for one last hurrah. But so far it's not looking too bad for DualShock Hero in the Aston Martin. Still in P3. I think he can be he can have a safe top 5, even with his retirement out of qualifying with that very unfortunate crash. So the second Ferrari of Evil Zook is now about to start his lap for Ferrari. I think this is Evil Zook's third lap, if I'm not mistaken. And we'll see what he can do as one of the, I think one of the Alpine drivers has just come out of the pit lane and might be a bit of a hindrance towards Evil Zook. Hopefully the Alpine gets out of the way. And does he, well, they're going into the S section now. It's not a fun place to catch someone when you are on your lap, as he actually stays out of the way of Evil Zook. Very well done there from the Alpine driver. As one of the McLarens, I think it might be Gun Carter, no it's not, he's just coming out of the pit lane. So Tangerine Hopper is actually busy with a lap here, but his lap is invalidated. And the second Red Bull of Jamie is also currently on a lap, but I think this might be an out lap for our league leader. Or it's not, actually it's his in lap because his battery is donezo. So JB has got some work to do because he's currently outside of the top 10. And the first sector of this track, you do not want to be mid-pack. It is just, it's not fun. It is not fun. So let's jump back on board with Evil Zook to see, well, to jump back with him, as let's see what he can do in this final sector. I actually want to see what his middle sector time is. So I'm going to look at the middle sector split in the top right hand of your corner for Evil Zook here as he goes up the hill towards 130R. Let's see what Evil Zook's middle sector is. It is a 113.1. It's a purple middle sector. It says he's 6/10 up on the fastest lap, and that will be an absolutely thrasher of a lap if he can displace Zach Zeke in the Aston Martin. That'll push DualShock down to P4, but let's see what happens as he opens up DRS and comes across the line. It is the new fastest lap, but only by 37 1,000ths of a second, just under 4 100ths of a second for Evil Zook. Ferrari on pole position, Aston Martin P2, Alfa Romeo P3, Red Bull P4, and then the second Ferrari is in P5. We have got, when the yellow flag disappears, 2.5 minutes left of qualifying, and there's now a lot that can still happen. Let's see if Lowy is on a lap, and I think he is because he's pushing very hard. Let's see the ERS, and yes, it's most definitely that Lowy is on a lap. I nearly said Zoe for some other reason. Don't know why, don't ask me why. Tangerine Whopper is bottom of the food chain in this league. Oh, Andrew, don't be so toxic, man. Don't be so toxic. But guys, let's stay on board. Oh, with Lowy as he has a big tank slapper coming out of the right-hander just before you go underneath the bridge into the hairpin. I hope he didn't lose too much time there for his flying lap, because this might be his final flying lap of the session, unless he's brave enough to go for 2 laps in a row. But Suzuka is a very, very high wear track for the 2 front tires, because you do so much steering input at this track with these long sweeping fast corners. So the fronts do tend to cry out for a bit of help, especially if you run high tire pressures as well, because then they tend to overheat as well. But let's see what Lowy 2008 can do as he heads through this final sector of the track. Hard on the brakes for, I thought that was a corner cut. Very well done there from Lowy as he comes out of the final corner. iiTzAssassins has retired from the session, and across the line, Lowy displaces the second Ferrari, which was in P5, as he goes up into P5 with a 1:30.5. Now, one of the horses is behind, was behind Lowy. But let's go on board with one of the McLarens as a Tangerine Whopper. Now it's actually Gymkhana who is starting his lap just in time, as there's not a lot of time remaining in this session, guys. But unfortunately, with the yellow flag in Sector 1, I can't see how much time is remaining, as Gymkhana loses it coming out of T2. The second AlphaTauri of Clutto is just starting his final lap, or he might have ended his lap. I'm not completely sure, but I think this is the start of his final lap, as there's less than 30 seconds to go in this qualifying session. I actually want to look at RacerZ, if he can displace the Ferrari man of iiTzAssassins, but he's on an out lap, guys, and he is not going to make the flag to start his final lap of this quali session. I think RacerZ has left it a little bit too late, and he is out of qualifying, as he's on a 6-minute lap. What is up with that? Okay, yeah, he's out of time, and in any case, with that he just did, he would have invalidated the start of his final lap as well. So RacerZ is out. So far, iiTzAssassins is on pole position. Has Joey made the cutoff time? No, he has not. So both Aston Martins were sleeping a bit there at the end. So let's see. Clutto is at the end of his... No, it's not actually. It's Lowy, but there was somebody spinning there in the background, as there was Tangerine Whopper, who unfortunately lost it at Spoon Curve. But let's quickly see here. One of the AlphaTauris. It's Lowy, but he's coming into the pit lane. One of the horses. No, it's ProAdzi, and he comes across the line to stay P9. Now next is the McLaren of Gymkhana, but his lap is invalidated. Then it's one of the Mercedes. Yes, it must be Jamek. Goes through 130R. Let's see what Jamek can do. Can he get himself into the top 10 for Mercedes-AMG Petronas Racing? Through the final chicane, coming down the hill. Let's see what the Mercedes driver can do. He's in P13 currently, and he goes as he opens up DRS into P11. So it's not the top 10, but so far it's P11 ahead of the Aston Martin of Joey. As a FRL Viper GTA gamer has just displaced RacerZ from the front row, as he goes P2, only 2/100ths of a second behind iiTzAssassins. The final Ferrari of Mr. Insomniac is coming through at the final few corners now, but I think this is just an end lap, guys. Yes, it is. And then it's the second horse of Bradders, also in lap, and everybody is done for qualifying, guys. What a quali session, to be deadly honest with you guys. There was a lot of action, especially at the end, but let's see how many constructors are in the top 10. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So of the 10 constructors, we have got 8 constructors contenders in the top 10. Obviously, the cars are set to equal performance, but that is still very impressive. So well done to all the drivers. We've got a long race ahead of us, obviously 50%. And I think safety cars are guaranteed, especially with the first section of this track. But oh my word, there's so many stuff coming through on my cell phone. I will read all of that later. I don't know about you guys, but do you guys have those friends that, like, when you post a status on your WhatsApp or your Instagram or something and it's a cool video, they ask you to either send them the video or send them the link? I've got too many friends like that. But not the point, just a bit of random stuff from my life. But guys, your top 10 for this Japanese Grand Prix. iiTzAssassins for Ferrari heads the field with a 1:30.058. Second place, only 21/100ths of a second behind iiTzAssassins, is FRL Viper GTA Gamer and the Alfa Romeo. Third is RacerZ for Aston Martin, then DualShock Euro P4 for Red Bull. Lowy P5 for AlphaTauri, with the second Ferrari of Mr. Insomniac in P6. Seventh is Gymkhana in the McLaren, with Elliott in 8th for Williams. And rounding out your top 10 are the two horses of Bradders and ProAdzi. We've got a good race waiting for us, guys, and I think it's going to be a fun one. Let's see what happens in this race. Guys, excuse the disturbance in the stream with me disconnecting my headset twice. Sorry, I just had to clear my throat. I had a little bit of slime in my throat. But we are underway for the formation lap officially. So let me, while we do that, we'll get the gap to the leader for the first lap. Position change for the first lap. Telemetry disabled. Lap dots are disabled. That is all we do. But the position, the detail will be changed eventually, and we will go to the tires and eventually the penalties at the end of the race as well. But guys, put it down in the comments down below for those of you guys watching, who do you think is going to take this race win? Your favorites to win today are definitely between iiTzAssassins, GTA, well, FRL, VIP GTA Gamer, RacerZ, DualShock, Mr. Insomniac, and Gymkhana. With the races that I've seen so far, guys, Lowy struggles a bit with his consistency. I'm not bashing the guy. He's still a good contender, but he needs to keep the car on track. So, my personal top 3, guys, for this race, I always like to do these predictions. I'm going to go RacerZ for the win with iiTzAssassins P2 and DualShock Hero in P4. Oh, P3, sorry. So that is my top 3. I don't have anything against the drivers that I didn't mention. It's just my wild guess, so don't hate me in the comments. While they are still in the formation lab, guys, let me know in the comments down below who your top 3 is going to be. I would love to hear from you guys on the stream as well, as we've got 8 viewers currently. You guys are smashing it. Remember to drop a like down below on the stream. It's highly appreciated. And it also makes my videos flow a little bit more throughout the algorithm of YouTube. So please remember to drop a like down below as we are getting ready for a very, very tense and happy-go-lucky. No, I'm joking, not happy-go-lucky, but it's going to be a very good and interesting race here around the Suzuka International Circuit in the beautiful country of Japan. So guys, the predicted strategies are either a soft, medium, hard. I think that's more of a soft, medium if you want to try a 2-stop. But the pit lane here at Suzuka is quite long, so I don't think a 2-stop is going to be applicable unless there is at least 1 or 2 safety cars. And then the normal strategy, mediums to hards or hards to mediums if you're a sweaty esports supporter McGee like myself. So let's just go quickly away from iiTzAssassins and jump onto the last driver, which is TJ Barnes in the Alfa Romeo. Just to make sure, well, just to know when the entire grid is lined up. But guys, honestly, I think it's going to be a good race. Not just this one, but mine as well, if I can not get 10,000 penalties and actually keep the car on track. So guys, I'm not going to go on board, but it is time for the Japanese Grand Prix. iiTzAssassins and FRL VIP GTA Gamer. Guys, I'm just going to call him VIP GTA or Gamer. So don't at me in the comments. But it's time for the 5 red lights, and we are go for the Japanese Grand Prix. Who's going to come out of this little blind spot first? It looks like the Alfa Romeo has had a beautiful start as GTA Gamer takes the lead. The Ferrari has bogged down a bit on the start, as it is iiTzAssassins down in position. DualShock Hero is up into P3. RacerZ is down to P4. Mr. Insomniac is up into P4, as there's a lot of kerfuffling going on at the back. RacerZ is all the way down to P5. I think he got boxed in there when everything has started to happen there. But beautiful start there from the second Ferrari driver, as well as from GTA Gamer in the Alfa Romeo. Beautiful start. He leads the way as iiTzAssassins has fallen all the way to the back of the grid with some sort of mistake. He's down 9 positions. The big winner here is TJ Barnes, with up 6 positions on this first lap, and he's still pressurizing the guys in front as the Aston Martin of Joey in front. Oh, there's a spin for Gymkhana, and he is going to be down to last position for this race. Oh, that is heartbreak. Lowy is out of the race, guys. Will we have a safety car? Poor Lowy, after qualifying so well, he is out in the Alpha Tauri. Black Cat Racer is also down 7. Gymkhana is down 10 positions. You've got Clutto, who's up 5. Tommy Marsh, who's up 7. And then you've got Tangerine Whopper, who's up 8 positions. And the big winner here now is definitely TJ Barnes, up 12 positions. But it seems like we do have a safety car, guys, or at least a virtual safety car as we get the tires underway. As TJ Barnes has actually opted to start on the soft tires, probably hoping for a safety car, but it seems like we are only under VSC. Let's quickly see if it shows something. No, it doesn't show anything when it's up like that. But we've got the Alfa Romeo of VIP GTA Gamer in the lead. But it seems like it's just a VSC, guys. I don't see the safety car circle popping out of the pit lane. So it's just a virtual safety car to clean up that mess that Aloe made. But still, GTA Gamer leads the way from iiTzAssassins in the Ferrari in P2. DealShock Euro P3 for Red Bull with the second Ferrari of Mr. Insomniac P4. Zach Zeke has dropped all the way down to P5 in the Aston Martin. Elliott in the Williams has had a good start from, I think, P8 on the grid. He's in P6. TJ Barnes P7. Tangerine Whopper P8. Joey is up into P9 in the Aston Martin. And Bradders in the Haas is still within the points in the top 10. But guys, there's a lot that can happen in this race, as Gymkhana has come into the pit lane and strapped on a set of hard tires, which I highly doubt will go to the end of the race. If that is his strategy, hats off to you, my guy, but you're gonna be threatened by punctures come the end of this race. But Lowy has left the session, so he is out of this Japanese Grand Prix, and he really qualified so well, guys. As somebody has spun in the background, it's Bradders who has spun under VSC conditions. That is just very bad luck for the Haas driver, as both Haases, including ProAdzi, is now out. But we are back to green flag running, and we've already got a 1 second gap to the leader, well, between the top two. Let's quickly see the intervals. There we go. So you guys can see the difference between all the drivers as they now run through Sector 2, and the timing charts are a little bit wonky. But it's a 1 second gap between iiTzAssassins and VIP GTA Gamer. The DRS helpment on this game is quite large, guys. So if you can stay within DRS of the car in front of you, you might not have such a tough time to stick with the guy in front. But it looks like GTA Gamer had a terrible line through the final chicane. And at the end of this lap, iiTzAssassins is within the DRS detection. The top 5 are within DRS of one another. Elliott is the first car in the Williams to not be within DRS of the car in front of him. But everything is going all nice and dandy. Let's have a quick little onboard here with iiTzAssassins in the Ferrari with its beautiful Monza livery. Even though I don't like the suits, the car's livery, I rate it. But it seems like GTA Gamer has got the edge on iiTzAssassins through the first half of the lap, and in the second half of the lap, that is where iiTzAssassins is a little bit stronger. But he was the man who qualified on pole position, so he's going to be very actively pursuing this Alfa Romeo ahead of him. As DualShock Euro is still just nipping at the heels of iiTzAssassins, he's sniffing the Ferrari's gearbox oil, with Mr. Insomniac still P4. So the Ferraris are looking very good for constructors' points if they do keep these positions. And Zach Zeke also still probably not feeling too great after the start, and he's trying to keep up with these guys, as Tangerine Whopper has gotten his first penalty for this race in P16. Guys, corner cutting here is so easy, or just going wide and getting warnings. It is actually insane how easily you can get a penalty around this track. So I think even in my race tonight, we're going to see a lot of penalties. But guys, excuse me just a quick second, just taking a sip of water. Guys, I'm going to take a lot of water breaks tonight because it's currently boiling in South Africa. We didn't go from winter to spring. We went from winter to summer. And it hasn't rained yet in South Africa, so we're still waiting for the rain to come to cool things down a bit. But currently it's very dry. It's a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for, humid. And it's very hot. So I'm currently sitting here with my fan on. So if you guys do hear a little bit of wind disturbance in the background, I do apologize. But I will not make it through this stream if my fan does not stay on, especially when it's my turn to race. But let's quickly look here, as the top 5 are currently sitting pretty with one another. Let's quickly see, because there is a bit of battling going on behind between Clutto, Jamie, and the Alfa Romeo of TJ Barnes has gone down a bit, as him and Jimmick are fighting. And the Alfa Romeo's round! The Alfa Romeo's round of TJ Barnes. TJ Barnes has gone round, and I think he will be fuming inside the cockpit of that Alfa Romeo. He is round and he drops down all the way to P13 after such a beautiful start to this race. That is not what you want to see. And there's more people spinning. Well, there's more people going round as Gymkhana has gone round. One of the Alpines has gone round. I'm not sure who that was. Klutzo has lost it a bit. There's a lot happening at this part of the racetrack, guys. That outside curb, just before you go underneath the tunnel as Klutzo spins again, and those tires are probably overheating like you cannot imagine. So there's no grip on those medium Pirelli slick tires. That is just terrible for the AlphaTauri crew, as one of the drivers is already up to the race and their second one has just dropped out of the points. But Mickey Grainer in the Alpine is probably the guy who spun. But let's see, Elliott is still doing a beautiful job here for Williams, and he's actually starting to catch the guys in front of him. But we might see a move here between Zach Zeek and Mr. Insomniac, guys, as Zach Zeek is very close to the back end of this Ferrari. DRS open, overtake is engaged. Let's see this battle heading into the first corner. Will he get the Ferrari? Yes, he does. And Mr. Insomniac drops down to P5 in the Ferrari. And the Aston Martin of Zach Zeek is up a position. Quickly see here the position changes. So Zach Zeek is only one position away from where he started. And Mr. Insomniac is still up one when he started in P6. So still not going too bad for Mr. Insomniac at this stage. But a lot of drama on that fourth lap here around Suzuka. And all this time, Elliott is just chilling behind them. It seems that the gap has opened up again from 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds at the end of that first lap, heading into lap 2. Heading into lap 5. So I think he's just chilling, waiting for these guys to get into each other's hair a bit. But I was expecting a little bit more of a push from Evil Zook, but at this stage he might not have the pace of a GTA gamer. We'll see what the difference is when these guys get onto the hard tires, or whether they're going to go for a 2-stop maybe, if there is indeed safety cars, as Brad has just got a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings, and that is obviously corner cutting, as the AlphaTauri of Klutzo has lost it again, guys. This weekend is going from bad to worse for AlphaTauri. TJ Barnes comes past, he's up into P30 now. And then one of the McLarens has also gone round. It's Tangerine Whopper who's gone round. But let's see, Pro Adzi, he's also round. As Toby Marsh and the Alpine gets up into P17. There's just a lot of carnage in this, the whole first sector and the start of sector 2. It seems the guys are really coping well as soon as they go through the hairpin and then to the end of the track. But the whole Sector 1 and the start of Sector 2 is looking like a bit of a cancer zone, if I can put it that way. Everybody is they're just losing it. They're just losing it. But, ooh, that was a little bit wide there from Evil Zoo.